Okay, we're going to take Umarex's new PCP air rifle. It's the Gauntlet. We're going to try to shoot some hyrax, some Dossie back here. If you look behind me, there are a bunch of holes, kind of like a prairie dog town back in the Midwest of the U.S., in the Plains area. Anyway, Dossies are a larger animal. They're in a fairly unusual class I won't go into, but they look something like a cross between a prairie dog and a groundhog, except they've got sharp teeth like little fanglets. Anyway, up in the rock areas, you see a lot of them up in the rock areas. They're fine back there. Here they're starting to get into some of the pasture area, the feeding area. So we're just going to thin a few out. Not going to shoot a lot, just thin them out a little bit, keep them from expanding. So I'm going to go sit back in here, tuck into the shade of a tree, and put my face mask on and try to blend in and wait for a while. Hopefully they'll pop back up. They all dove down the holes when they saw us coming up.
Walking across the bush and grasslands, we saw several areas where hyrax had dug burrows and torn up the ground. I hiked through an open area where I'd seen several drop down through their holes. I was looking for a place I could tuck in under cover of vegetation and rely on my camo to keep hidden. I sat about 50 yards from a giant burrow and waited. Eventually, the fattest hyrax I've ever seen clambered out from behind a mound and kept on walking. I was sitting lower than the camera and only saw his back as he walked by. I never got a clean shot. I held my position and waited. I'd run the shooting sticks through a strap on my pack, which made a stable platform and provided extra coverage. I soon saw another one to my right side, and after repositioning the cameras, lined up my shot. I was blown off in the wind and spined the animal rather than the intended headshot, but it did the job. After waiting a quarter hour, I moved and set up at a new spot.
Okay.
And put Dossie number 2 in the bag.
Another hyrax at about 35-40 yards using the Umarex Gauntlet 22 caliber PCP air rifle. This gun is hard hitting, it's accurate, it's quiet.
Next I headed over to one of the sheep feeders, and after 15 minutes the sheep and goats rolled in. As the livestock moved out, a troop of vervet monkeys moved in. These monkeys can be a huge problem to farmers, but it seems like the ongoing drought was taking a toll on them as well, so I just sat and watched. I crawled into a cut blind we set up the day before. But as the monkey moved out, the crows moved in. A big one flew over my head and landed on a trough. Unlike the primates, the crow numbers seemed to be very high. I lined up the 50-yard headshot and slowly squeezed the trigger. The 22 JSB pellet passed through the bird's brain and anchored him.
Okay, Umarex Gauntlet 22. This gun is quiet, powerful. Got this crow at about 35-40 yards. A few crows coming in. They're really hitting this feeder hard. This is the only one that I was able to line up a shot at. So these birds are really wary. I was tucked away in a blind back here and moved very, very slowly. Had a lot of cover all around me, including behind me, so they couldn't see me backlit. Anyway, took this crow. I'm going to go out and do some more birds. I think a little later I'm going to try for a guinea fowl. So let's see what we can do.